Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about what are the easiest ways to sell your social media marketing agency services in 2023. So guys, in this video, like I say, I'm going to be talking through some really nice methods and some really nice strategies that are going to make selling your high ticket social media marketing agency services a lot easier for you. So it goes without saying that selling a product or service for £1,500 a month on a 4-month contract to another business owner is a difficult task. Yes, there's stuff that, you can put into play that makes it a lot easier and a blueprint you can follow that is like clockwork. However, it shouldn't be underestimated that that is a difficult task, especially for a beginner, especially for someone that's never sold a B2B product before or never sold a product or service before. And it is difficult. However, hopefully through watching this video, there are going to be 4 or 5 different strategies and tips that you can start implementing in your business, in your sales meetings, in your outreach messages, that are really going to help you start selling your social media marketing agency services if you're really struggling. Because, if you're a long viewer of this channel, you'll know that it took me 6 months to sign my first client. And these are some of the things that I wasn't implementing and I wasn't doing that was really holding me back. So stay around to the end of the video, because there's going to be, a lot of, one-liners, golden nuggets in this video that are really going to help you. So make sure you watch the whole video. Number 1 is you've got to show these business owners exactly how you're going to get them results. And this is the biggest mistake that people make on a sales call. 100%. So what 99% of people do is they'll get on a sales call and all they'll talk about is themselves. All they'll talk around is, right, this is my agency. These are the case studies I've got. This is how amazing Facebook ads are. You need to work with me. This is my offer. I'm guaranteeing you 50 clients a week. Like going crazy and just going way over the top with what we can do for you. However, that doesn't have the best interest of the client at heart. If you flip that completely on its head and you go into this sales meeting with, right, I'm going to come across as if I don't give a shit whether you sign with me or not. I really couldn't give 2 flying fucks whether you sign the contract at the end of this call. That's how we go into every meeting. And the reason why we do that is because we put all of our energy and attention into making sure that client comes away from the call thinking, fucking hell, Harry's just spent an hour out of his day to completely educate me on how I'm on a blueprint of how they're actually going to get results. Give away your whole strategy. It means nothing. They're not going to be able to implement it. They're not going to be able to copy it because they'll be engaging with you on the Zoom call. And that's 100% how you're going to get them to sign you as a client, not going way over the top and talking about your offer. You need to show them, these are the type of Facebook ads we're going to run. This is the type of funnel we're going to run their traffic to. This is the offer we need from you. This is the content we need from you. This is how the Facebook ad strategy works. This is how we make custom audiences and lookalike audiences from the traffic that we gain from the cold traffic. This is how we build data. This is how we're going to utilize your existing email list. This is how we're going to utilize the thousands and thousands of data points you've been collecting on your pixel over the past 5 years that you didn't even know you were doing. It puts it in perspective for them. It makes them 100% understand how you're going to get them results. They're not going to invest money into you if they don't understand how you're going to get results. Yes, you'll get some people that will pay you because they're intrigued with your offer. You've got you've got a really good offer. You've got a guarantee in there. You've got your USP in there, and they'll take you up on the offer. However, not everyone's like that. The amount of businesses we've closed that weren't really looking for social media marketing services, although we've booked the meeting, they weren't really in the market for it. They weren't actively looking for a social media marketing agency at the time, but because we've got on a call with them and we've completely educated them on Facebook ads, on how the whole thing works, so they come away with it thinking, oh no, I actually understand digital marketing now. I actually understand how social media marketing brings in clients. Before, all I heard was, yeah, I knew I needed to be on social media. I knew you could run ads, but I didn't really understand how it works. It seemed a bit like, oh, it works for some people, doesn't work for others. Whereas now I've got on a call with Tom and Harry, and now they're like, fuck, I really fucking understand it now. It's like, it's a no-brainer for me. Sign up. I want to sign up with them immediately. So that's what you need to do, and that's how you should go about it. Number 2 is you need to customize your offer for their requirements. And this leads really heavily on the reason why we don't offer packages. We don't go into every single meeting with any business owner and say, right, here's the bronze package, here's the silver package, here's the gold package, and here's the platinum package. And the reason why we don't do that is because majority of those packages aren't suitable for majority of the businesses that we're having a meeting with. We customize our offering and how much we're going to charge them based on what they need. It's like a driveway company going to every single quote, you know, of people that are asking for a driveway and saying, right, you can either have a 10 meter by 10 meter driveway, a 20 meter by 20 meter driveway, and a 50 meter by 50 meter driveway. What happens if you need a 35 by 35 meter driveway? You're just not, what, you're not going to give them, you're not going to work with them? No, you're not. And it's the same with social media marketing services. When you go to these meetings, there's different levels. It's on a scale rather than, it's more on an analog scale rather than a digital scale, in the sense that there's not 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. It's, you might be 0.1, 0.97 on the scale of how much you need a particular service. And that's how we build our offer. So although we can kind of get a sense of what the business needs on that initial call with them, it's really until we're in the meeting, until we know what exactly they need, after we have a massive, like 1.5 hour discussion with them, a discovery session, take them through the strategy, really get them to open up about their pain points within their business. That's when we start to understand what they need. So they need this level of social media management. They need some video editing on their YouTube channel. They need 5 sales funnels made rather than just the one for the different services that they're now opening up, that they need advertising. They need a bit of content work. They need, you know, this and this, and that builds the quote that you're then going to give them. Because if you don't include all of that, they're going to be like, well, they're not really doing everything I need. So if they say all of that stuff that they need, and you go, oh, well, we only do Facebook ads and funnel creation, you're going to have to go elsewhere for the other stuff, they're going to be like, well, I'll just find someone that does it all. Like, that's not us saying you need to be a jack of all trades. You need to build the offer that puts them in the best possible position for success, ticking off as many boxes as you can for them. Number 3 is act like a doctor, not a salesperson. And this is the best piece of advice I was ever told in sales, especially when I started my social media marketing agency. When you go into a sales meeting, if you feel like a salesperson, you're doing something wrong. You want to completely flip that on its head. You want to go into the sales meeting, and even on the cold calls, and even over outreach messages, if you're talking to people over DMs, you need to act like a doctor. You need to ask probing questions that then allows you to diagnose the problem. Ask them questions like, so is there any products and services that you're really struggling to sell over the past 3 months? What's your content strategy like? Are you struggling to produce content at scale on social media? All of these questions get them to highlight the issues they're facing, not you. If you're a salesperson will go in and say, you're struggling with that. You can't sell that product and service because I can tell. Like, all of these things, the issues need to be brought up by the client rather than you. So then they're saying, Harry, like, how would I solve that? Well, Tim, thanks for asking. Here's how you solve it. Step 1, step 2, step 3. And you're making them almost self-diagnose themselves, you certifying that diagnosis, and then you giving them the solution, because that's 100% the best way to do it. So go into any kind of relationship in business when you're selling a B2B service like a doctor. You want to solve their issue, and the solution to their issue is your product or service. Number 4, and not everyone's going to be able to do this, is show testimonials. And I'm going to talk a bit about niches here, because a lot of people ask me, Harry, what's the best niche to get into, this and this? And actually, choosing a niche is only important, in my opinion, at the start, so you can leverage case studies or across other businesses in that same industry. If you've got a case study for a kitchen fitter, leveraging that kitchen fitter case study against other kitchen fitters is going to be more effective than trying to leverage a kitchen fitter case study to sign a new dental client, which is why it's important that you niche down at the beginning, because you can build strong lead lists of everyone in the same industry. Your presentation stays the same, your strategy stays the same, and it's the best way to grow. However, when your agency matures, you're going to start taking on businesses and clients from a range of different industries. So having those testimonials from the same industry that you're having the meeting with is going to be so, so helpful. And if you don't, we've done videos on how to build testimonials without past clients on this channel. Just give it a search after this video. A short summary of that video is make the testimonials for yourself. Build case studies of, example ads that you'd run for a kitchen fitter. Create an example sales funnel, create an example email sequence that you'd run for a kitchen fitter if you were to sign them, and then use that portfolio of work in your presentation. A prime example, if you're a video editor, you don't need to wait until you get a client to showcase how good your work is. Download one of Tom and I's videos on YouTube, edit it, send it to us, and you might become an editor for the channel. Like, there's no point you just reaching out and saying, I'm a video editor, I'd love to do it. Clip 2 minutes of this video, edit it, and show us what you can do. So like that's the same with social media marketing services. You can show your work and the quality of your work and how professional you are in different ways, and 100% use that in your meeting, in your sales process, because that's going to make selling them a lot easier because you've got social proof there. Number 5 is don't be super pushy. Don't pressurize them into the sale. Almost do the complete opposite. And Tom and I always talk about this on videos. We actively say in our sales meetings, guys, go shop around. Like, literally go have meetings with 10 other agencies, go, get loads of quotes. When we're not the cheapest, we actively say we aren't the cheapest, but we're the best. And people respect that. When you're super pushy and say, right, if you're going to go ahead with this, I need you to pay the invoice on this call. That you can do that at a particular part of the sales process if people are pushing it off and they've shown strong interest that they have chosen you. But at the beginning, that's the really wrong approach to take. You need to be very hands-off and be like, I'm not desperate for the business. Like, if you're piling on loads of pressure that comes across super desperate, which is going to make them seem like you are desperate for business and you're not as, established as you may be trying to portray in that meeting. And finally, have a strategic presentation. And I've touched on this earlier in the video in terms of giving away your whole strategy, but have a presentation that converts. Take them through the processes. That can be anything from having a discovery session at the beginning of the meeting, taking them through case studies, then educating them on the service and having that closing stage of the presentation. Like, have that process that works and prepare yourself for the meeting. Don't go on a meeting and just be like, yeah, like, we do social media marketing, how can we help? No, you want to prepare for the meeting. Do your research on that person before you get on that sales call. So you have a branded presentation using examples from their business, using example pieces of content that they've published, and kind of manipulate that into example ads that you can run. When you go way above and beyond for these people in these meetings, they massively respect it. Just recently, we did a presentation for he was like a fitness guru. He owned a few gyms across the UK, but he also had an online program. So he was kind of like an online coach as well, which is an industry that our agency serves really well. And he got on a meeting with us after we called our sales team, cold called him, and we did the full presentation. He actually printed off our presentation and showed it to the team, because he had a few other shareholders in the business, and they all went through all the presentations that all these other agencies offered, and he got on a call with me the week after, and he said, Harry, Tom, your presentation stood out like a sore thumb in a good way. And he was like, no one even came close to their time, energy, and effort that you put into it, and it showed that you really cared and had an interest in the business and you'd done your research. I said to him, well, what did these other guys do just purely out of interest? And they said they just came back with quotes. They just said, this is how much we cost, this is kind of a list of the services we do, and they just left it at that. And they were like, that's not the type of business that we want to be working with. Whereas you guys went way above and beyond. You showed us the strategy. We understand the strategy you're going to implement. You sent us loads of case studies and testimonials and social proof of other clients you've worked with. And yeah, it was a no-brainer for him. And then we signed him. So that's really how, putting that time in up front, you're going to just reap the rewards on the back end, because then business owners are going to really see Tom and Harry are legit. They know what they're talking about. We can see the strategy they're going to implement. We understand the strategy they implement, and we can see they're a real business and they know what they're talking about. So guys, there were 5 or 6 tips there that will really help you sell your social media marketing agency services. These were some massive things that I've learned over the past 4 years that I didn't implement in the first 6 months of starting, which really held me back for scaling my agency. So hopefully you enjoyed that video, guys. If you've not watched our previous video, it was on how to set up your Instagram accounts for Smma success. What Instagram accounts do you need? Do you need a personal brand? Do you need a personal account? What to do to these different accounts to put you in the best possible position for success? Give it a watch. If you're listening on Spotify, There's a link in the description for the YouTube channel. Drop us a subscribe. You might want to watch us when you have a bit more time. So hope you enjoyed that video, guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m.